There's two reasons why I made this video. One was for myself. I never want to forget this experience because it's taught me so much. And also for others. So if anyone else is going through a really difficult time in their lives, if they've been injured, to be like, you aren't alone. And also when you're in it, you can feel so alone. So just really to kind of reach out and just tell people about my experience and talk about some of the learns that I have had. Hi beautiful souls, it's Devki here from beautyandthewifelife.com. Right, so we're going to be talking today about my surgery and everything that's been going on with me, my knee, and all that kind of jazz. And the reason why I wanted to share this with you guys was because it was such a hard-hitting thing that I actually just thought to myself, I'm probably never going to blog again, and I'm never going to do this again because it just knocked all of the wind out of me. I ski quite regularly. I'm not like a child skier. I wish I was a child skier. Wouldn't be like scared as much as I am. But you know, I was really in my groove this year and I got super unlucky. One of my skis came off because I hit something and basically the other ski stayed on and I ended up ripping my whole ACL and MCL. So that's 2 ligaments and the cartilage in between my bone. So could have done the worst damage possible. I'm gonna put the footage in the video as well, not of me falling, but me on the slopes. So it didn't really hurt, it hurt, but it didn't hurt that much. I just knew I couldn't stand up at the time. I just knew my knee gave in and I was like, okay, something's wrong, but I couldn't really figure out how bad it actually was. Ended up getting up thinking I'm gonna be skiing tomorrow. I wasn't skiing tomorrow. And then got home and my knee had basically like got to a balloon at that point. So before I got home, obviously I had an x-ray, went and saw a doctor, all that kind of mumbo jumbo. I felt like I was ruining my friend's holiday. But anyway, we had a bit of fun in the airport, came home. Guys, this is why you need travel insurance and medical insurance, because shit can happen and you need to be able to get home and get home safely and in good hands.
This is how we have to take her, mate. Bloody liability.
Shut up.
How's the knee?
It's alright. Just to get me a proper wheelchair.
Oh, stop complaining.
Hey!
Donna, hey, Connie!
Samir, you literally just went straight in there.
Yeah, because like the door was
We gotta get in.
So, I had an accident on the slopes.
And we're having to lug her around on a wheelchair.
Look at all this. Anyway, they're complaining. I would rather be walking, just saying.
So would we rather you be
And
walking?
I have been off of social media for 3 months, which is a pretty long time for me because I'm obviously had beauty in the wife life. But I really did need it. So I came back and I just had bad news after bad news. They thought I had a blood clot. Luckily, I didn't have a blood clot, but realized I actually ripped everything. And I did like something called the tripods. I don't know. Doctors telling me something. I basically did the worst thing that I could do to my knee, with all ligaments in there. And it's just been a real journey for me the last 3 months and what I've really been through. I moved back home to my parents' house because my mum works part-time. She's a nurse. She can take care of me. Luckily, my husband came with me as well, which was really, really helpful when I needed to go to the toilet in the middle of the night and couldn't walk. But I just think after the surgery, it was pretty much the worst thing that I have ever been through. And if you speak to anyone, and I have spoken to about 2 or 3 people who have had an ACL reconstruction, it is the worst pain in the world. And the most annoying thing was, I was looking online at the time and Zac Efron had an ACL reconstruction at the same time. And this guy was walking around like it was nothing. you know, 6 months later and like acting like it was a joke and on all these chat shows and whatever. It hurts. This shit freaking hurts. Like it hurts so bad.
Slowly but surely.
So obviously one of the best things that I had with this experience was a break from work, right? So I couldn't go back to work. And really it has taught me that I really didn't need a break from work at the time. I didn't realize it. Like I actually just needed some time to just relax and just switch off, watch Netflix until I passed out. But it really did teach me that sometimes you do need to take a step back. You need to have a work-life balance. And I was basically forced. My body forced me to give me a work-life balance. And it also gave me an appreciation for work. So as many of you know, I'm in the corporate world on a I'd say 9 to 5. No one works 9 to 5, but Monday to Friday basis. And it really made me realize that work really grounds you and gives you a routine. And that's the best thing about this experience. Like I'm going back to work next week and I am so excited to go back to work. I'm really excited to, you know, get into a routine, have work push me. I've been off for 3 months and I've not done any blog work. Obviously I was injured. Something obviously was going on in my life, but I was super lazy. If there was an option to watch Netflix or do something productive, like my blog or creative or, you know, just do spiritual things, chant my rounds, pray to God. Like I didn't want to do any of that. I was more interested in just switching my brain off. And it was a combination of the pain, but I do realize that routine is key to get somewhere in life, to be successful, to do things. So that's one of the biggest learns, that I actually do appreciate the job that I have. And the job that I have motivates me in my blog. It motivates me in my personal life. It motivates me to do better. So actually, I have had a newfound respect for my day job. And as you know, I'm quite a spiritual person. So I think that everything happens for a reason. And this experience has actually told me, yes, everything does happen for a reason. I always felt like I got married a little bit too early. I didn't get enough time to spend with my parents. You know, a lot of my childhood we were living with my grandparents and it was a bit of a stressful time for all of us. It wasn't the environment, you know, that I felt like I spent time with my mom and dad. Obviously, me being back at home during this period, I have really like ended up getting closer to both of my parents. And I've always been close to my parents, but you know, I have been able to have just evenings of just chilling out with my dad and like, you know, reading Gita, which is our spiritual book, together, and like just having talks about what kind of people we are and just growing in our faith. And I just feel like this time has really given me an opportunity to really bond with my mom and dad, which I am super grateful for, because you know, like it's super hard to connect with people, and so many people, especially your parents, after you get married and be in the culture that we are. So I'm super grateful for this time because I've actually been able to reconnect with my parents. And all that time I felt like I got married too early. That's kind of been given back to me, which has been really nice, but I've been married at the same time. So I've had the best of both worlds.
Go. Okay, turn around. Go back. Slowly. Bas?
Yeah. Everything happens for a reason. I genuinely believe that this accident happened to me, and it was really, really bad luck. Like I didn't do any flips or anything like that. I wasn't going down a black diamond or whatnot. I actually fell on flat terrain. It's actually so embarrassing. It's unreal. Flat terrain. And you know, this surgery that I have is quite a common sports injury. But the real thing it has done is really made me closer to God and closer to my God, Krishna, and really feeling like, you know, I have a better understanding of my faith. I have a better understanding of my religion. I have fully embraced like what's been coming to me. Don't get me wrong, there has been loads and loads and loads and loads of tears along the way, some tantrums as well. The first night I had in hospital was probably one of the worst experiences that I've ever had. But I genuinely think that, yeah, this experience was in my karma. I had to deal with it. But the reason why I wanted to make this video is because a lot of my family members, my friends, my cousins were quite surprised with my approach and my attitude along the way. You know, I can be quite whingy. I complain about a lot in my life. Ask Kesh, he thinks I complain about absolutely everything and I moan and I'm really negative. I surprised a lot of my family members, I think, with this experience because I haven't complained as much as they expected to. And, you know, I spent a whole weekend with one of my cousins and they were just like, we're really shocked at how much you're not moaning. And what my response to that was is that I genuinely believe that this experience has happened to me for a reason. If I don't learn and I don't change to better myself or get more of a positive attitude, or, you know, just try and look at the brighter side of life, I genuinely believe this will happen to me in a different capacity. I'm not saying in the exact same accident, but if I have not learned from this experience will happen to me in another way. I'll get this pain, I'll get this confusion, this disorientation in life in a roundabout way. But it has also just shown me that I need to grow as a person, and experiences need to make me grow as a person and learn, and I need to learn from every experience in life, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. And just like on a deeply spiritual level, I just realized how, you know, I am the spiritual soul and I'm not the body. And that's a core teaching of Krishna consciousness, the faith that I believe in. And I've never really realized this until now. Until you physically cannot move that part of your body, you're trying to bend it, you're trying to straighten it, you're trying to walk on it, and every bone in your body and everything in you and your mind is constantly trying to get you to do something and it doesn't. That is probably the most heartbreaking thing ever, to be completely honest with you. And the reason for that is because ultimately, you know, in my faith, we believe that we aren't the body and we are the soul. And it just shows us that the body is temporary. And that is what this experience has taught me, is that we are spiritual beings having a material experience. And, you know, I am not in control of my body. You know, my environment can be in control of it, and it does take a lot of hard work to maintain the body itself. So yeah, that's one thing. I've definitely seen a spiritual side to this accident, and I am really grateful to God in one way that it has happened to me, which is really weird, because if you asked me this after surgery, I probably would have had a different answer or a completely different opinion. But the most important thing that it has really taught me, having an experience like this, is who is your true friends and who are your true family and who are people that genuinely care about you. I think one of my cousins, literally from the moment she knew I felt, she messaged me every single day to make sure I was okay. So many of my cousins, my family members have come to see me. So many of my friends, you know, have messaged me. Even people who I don't know through the blog have got in contact with me. And when I came back to Instagram, it was insane. So I'm so thankful for those people. But it also gave me a focus on who those people aren't and who people aren't really bothered about me. Now, if there's people who didn't know about my experience, I can totally understand that and relate. Like, you know, I'm not holding anybody accountable, but there were a few people, you know, who I genuinely thought would be, you know, reaching out to me or calling me to make sure if I'm okay, and they didn't. And do you know what? Rather than making an argument about it and confronting them and being like, oh, you didn't contact me, I've just put in the back of my head, okay, well, this person might not care about me in the same way as I do care about them. But it's really has taught me of the value of people and which people to value. But the last but not least is me thanking my amazing and two people basically who have got me through this. My mother, of taking care of me, being the amazing person that she is, a selfless individual. Mama Gad, you are legit the best. And her being a nurse has been amazing because she, in my tantrum, has known exactly how to manage me. But secondly is my amazing husband. And I just think that this is why you need to be so careful about what kind of person you decide to marry and what kind of person you decide to live the rest of your life with, because when these tests come our way, who is going to be there for you? So my husband moved with me back to my parents' house while I was recovering, while I was just settling in, going into rehab. And, you know, for practical reasons, it wasn't practical for him at all. It was practical for me because I was closer to the hospital here. I had my mum around working part-time who could look after me. You know, just little things like I could get in a shower rather than a bath. Little things like that. When you ask someone what they're looking forward to, like in the next couple of months and whatever, and that person just turns around and says, like, I'm just looking forward to you walking again. And that's all I want. Like, that's how you know it's true love. Anyway, without getting too soppy, thanks, Kesh, for basically looking after me through thick and thin. This was really life-changing for me. And I think this video is more so for me than it is for other people. It's for me to look back on and realize that I'm very appreciative of everything that I have in my life, reflect and remember the way that I feel at this time. But I really want to know, like, has anybody else has experience like this? I'll be really keen to know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this, drop a like. And from next week, the videos start rolling out. So this is the first one. The first one. Obviously, I made the I'm back video, but this is the first one. And yeah, we've got loads of makeup, we've got loads of DIY, and we've got loads of marriage and relationship chat coming. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I will see you beautiful souls soon.